prepare yourself for a story that will completely change your understanding of the creation of mankind. Before Eve, there was another woman in Adam's life, a figure so controversial, so dark, that her existence was nearly erased from history. Her name was Lilith, and her story is not just a forgotten myth. It is a tale of defiance, rebellion, and mystery, stretching across thousands of years and multiple civilizations. Lilith wasn't created from Adam's rib. Like Eve, she was made from the same earth as Adam, symbolizing true equality. But it was this equality that led to unimaginable conflict. Lilith refused to submit to Adam, to lie beneath him, and this act of defiance would send shockwaves through history. She didn't just leave Eden, she chose exile, becoming the bride of Satan and the mother of demons. The story of Lilith is one of rebellion, one that challenges the very foundation of creation as we know it. According to ancient legends, Lilith is mentioned in Genesis chapter 1, where man and woman are created together. But by Genesis chapter 2, we see the creation of Eve from Adam's rib. This discrepancy has given rise to countless interpretations about Lilith. Why did this first woman vanish from the narrative? What truly happened to her? Lilith was made from the same earth as Adam, and this equality led to tension. She demanded to be treated as an equal to Adam, but when he refused, she uttered the ineffable name of God and fled Eden, never to return. In doing so, she became the embodiment of rebellion and independence, choosing exile over submission. In the ancient Jewish text, the alphabet of Sira Lilith's story is told in full detail. Written between the 7th and 10th century CE, this text marks the first explicit mention of Lilith as a rebellious figure. The narrative describes her refusal to be subservient to Adam, her anger, and her ultimate transformation into a demoness after leaving Eden. But the origins of Lilith's story stretch much further back, over 5,000 years, to the ancient civilization of Sumer. To understand the true origins of Lilith, we must travel to Sumer, one of the earliest known civilizations located in what is now modern-day Iraq. The Sumerians did not view Lilith as a single entity, but rather as part of a class of wind and storm demons called the Lilitu. These malevolent spirits were associated with the night, illness, and death. The name Lilith can be translated as night monster or screech owl, symbols that reflected her connection to darkness and chaos. The Lilitu were feared for their power and mystery, and Lilith's name became intertwined with these ancient creatures. One of the earliest mentions of Lilith appears in the Sumerian text Inanna and the Hulapu tree. In this story, Inanna, the goddess of love and war, tends to a tree by the Euphrates River. This tree becomes home to a serpent in its roots, the Anzu bird in its branches, and Lilith in its trunk. When the hero Gilgamesh arrives, he slays the serpent, scares away the bird, and drives Lilith into the wilderness. This tale paints Lilith as a nuisance, a creature living on the fringes of society, but it also shows her enduring presence as a force of chaos. The documentary hypothesis, a modern biblical theory, suggests that Genesis is a composite of multiple texts woven together from different sources, known as the Jahwist J, Elohist E, Deuteronomist D, and priestly P sources. This theory explains the two creation stories, one in which man and woman are created together, and another where Eve is made from Adam's rib. This duality opened the door for Lilith's legend to grow. She became the lost woman, erased from the scriptures, replaced by Eve, a more compliant partner for Adam. As Lilith's story evolved over time, her transformation into a demoness solidified. By the end of the first millennium CE, her legend had fully formed. The Jewish text, the alphabet of Sira, portrays Lilith as the mother of demons, aligning herself with Satan. Her defiance, her refusal to conform to societal norms, made her a symbol of female independence and rebellion. But was she truly a dark force, or was she simply a figure demonized by those who feared her power? The origins of Lilith, however, go far beyond biblical texts. In the ancient Sumerian civilization, she wasn't viewed as a single figure, but part of a larger class of wind spirits known as the Lilitu. These demons were feared for their connection to the night and for causing sickness and death. As Lilith's legend spread, her connection to these ancient demons cemented her place as a figure of terror. But the story of Lilith doesn't end here. As the centuries passed, her legend spread through various cultures and religious texts, growing darker and more mysterious. By the time medieval Jewish scholars began writing about her, she had transformed into a full-fledged demoness, feared and reviled by many. Yet, in some modern interpretations, Lilith has become a symbol of female empowerment, a figure who chose independence over submission. She represents the idea that women do not have to conform to societal expectations, that they can choose their own path, even if it means being cast out from paradise. Lilith's connection to the night is also significant. Her name, often linked to owls, reflects this association with darkness and mystery. Owls, creatures of the night, have long been seen as omens of death and messengers of the supernatural. This symbolism of Lilith as a night monster or screech owl carried forward into many ancient cultures, solidifying her role as a dark, rebellious figure tied to the unknown. Lilith's presence in the Bible is fleeting but notable. Isaiah 34, verse 14 references night creatures translated from the Hebrew word Lilith. Different Bible versions interpret this word variously as screech owl or night monster, showing the ambiguity surrounding her identity. The passage in Isaiah reads, "Desert creatures will meet with hyenas, and wild goats will bleat to each other. There the night creatures will also lie down and find for themselves places of rest." Isaiah 34 verse 14 Niv. The King James Version translates night creatures as screech owl, while the New Revised Standard Version translates it stunned, directly as Lilith. This variation in translation underscores the enigmatic nature of Lilith's character in biblical texts. Lilith's demonic aspect is more pronounced in the Song of the Sage, part of the Dead Sea Scrolls. Here, she is grouped with other evil spirits, reinforcing her role as a fearsome entity in Jewish demonology. The Song of the Sage describes various malevolent beings, including Lilith, who are believed to bring harm and misfortune. The text reads, "And I, the Master, proclaim the majesty of his beauty to frighten and terrify all the spirits of the destroying angels and the spirits of the bastards, the demons." Lilith, the howlers and the yelpers. This passage highlights Lilith's association with chaos and destruction, further cementing her reputation as a demoness. In the Babylonian Talmud, Lilith appears as a night demon who preys on men and newborns. References in texts like Shabbat 151 billion and Niddah 24 billion depict her as a winged depict, embodying the fears of nighttime and infant mortality. In Shabbat 151 billion, it is written, "Forbidden for a man to sleep alone in a house, lest Lilith get hold of him." This warning reflects the belief that Lilith could harm those who are vulnerable or isolated. In Niddah 24 billion, Lilith is described as a female demon with wings, reinforcing her supernatural and menacing nature. From Mesopotamia, incantation bowls dating between 500 and 700 CE contain spells against Lilith. These artifacts show how deeply ingrained the fear of Lilith was in daily life, as people sought to protect themselves from her perceived malevolence. One such incantation bowl features an inscription in Aramaic designed to ward off Lilith and other evil spirits. The text often included specific names and formulas intended to protect the household. This practice highlights the pervasive fear of Lilith's malevolent influence and the lengths to which people would go to ensure their safety. The medieval alphabet of Ben Sira provides the most detailed and influential story of Lilith. Here she defies Adam, utters God's ineffable name, and escapes Eden when confronted by angels. She makes a pact to spare infants wearing protective amulets, solidifying her dual role as both a rebellious woman and a demoness. This text goes into great detail about the conflict between Adam and Lilith. When Lilith refuses to submit to Adam, she leaves Eden and begins a new life as a demoness. God sends 3 angels, Senoi, Sansonoi, and Samangelov, to bring her back, but she refuses. Instead, she agrees to a compromise. She will not harm infants who wear amulets bearing the names of the angels. This story not only explains Lilith's departure from Eden, but also provides a theological basis for the use of protective amulets in Jewish tradition. In Kabbalistic texts like the Zohar, Lilith gains even more mystical attributes. She becomes Satan's wife and a symbol of chaotic feminine energy, opposing the divine order. Her story intertwines with themes of redemption and messianic prophecy, illustrating her complex role in Jewish mysticism. The Zohar, written in 13th century Spain, is a foundational work of Jewish mysticism. In this text, Lilith is described as a demonic entity who seduces men and causes harm to children. She is also depicted as the consort of Samael, a demon prince, further emphasizing her role in the cosmic struggle between good and evil. The Zohar's portrayal of Lilith reflects the deepening complexity of her character and her significance in mystical traditions. In contemporary culture, Lilith is often seen as a symbol of female empowerment and rebellion. Her name, surprisingly popular as a girl's name in modern America, reflects her enduring legacy and evolving identity from ancient demoness to feminist icon. In recent years, Lilith has been reinterpreted by various feminist movements as a figure of independence and strength. This modern perspective highlights her defiance against patriarchal norms and her refusal to be subjugated. Lilith's transformation from a feared demoness to a symbol of female empowerment underscores the evolving nature of myth and its relevance to contemporary issues. The legend of Lilith is a tapestry woven from millennia of mythology, religion, and cultural exchange. From her Sumerian origins to her medieval demonization and modern reinterpretation, Lilith's story challenges and inspires. She is a figure who defied subservience, embraced her power, and continues to captivate our imagination. As we peel back the layers of her myth, we find a narrative that speaks to the deepest fears and highest aspirations of human history. Lilith's journey from the ancient world to modern times illustrates the dynamic and ever-changing nature of myth. Each era and culture that encountered Lilith reshaped her story to reflect their own beliefs and values. Today, Lilith stands as a powerful symbol of the enduring impact of myth, a force that transcends time and continues to shape our understanding of history and our crystal. Her story reminds us that what we've been taught may not be the whole truth, and that the deeper we look, the more we uncover about the complex interplay between belief, power, and rebellion. Lilith's legacy, whether viewed as a demon, a revolutionary, or an icon of empowerment, remains as captivating as ever. With each retelling, her story evolves, reflecting our shifting perceptions of the world. What if the tale we've always known wasn't the full story? What if Lilith, the true first woman, didn't leave Eden because of temptation, but because she refused to be controlled? Her defiance echoes through the ages, challenging the narrative and daring us to question the accepted version of history. If this journey into the untold story of Lilith has sparked your curiosity, give this video a like and share it with those who love discovering hidden truths. Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. And don't forget to subscribe for more mind-opening content. Thank you for watching, and we look forward to seeing you in the next video.